Council. Robert, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
John, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And I would like to start out by just setting the context for the Mid-Cambridge, that we're Mid-Cambridge is in the middle of.
John, I don't know if the technical issues are on my end, but
they're on John's end, and I'm going. John, I'm gonna mute John for a second. I'm gonna mute John. I'm trying to mute John. Not successful in muting John. This is a dense neighborhood right in the middle of the city. Housing is a big issue. And so we're interested in your thoughts about the issues surrounding affordable housing, given the density and given the centrality of Mid-Cambridge as a crossroads. And we'll give John some time to try and get his sound back.
Absolutely. In the meantime, hopefully I can entertain everybody, or at least impart my vision of what Cambridge should be in the meantime. So just to repeat, and I believe Laura, that you were speaking, is that correct? I hope. Okay. I've been running for office for about 6 months. Election is in 2 weeks. It's very important that everyone here, I'm sure everyone that's attending here is aware the election is November 2nd. I am seeking everyone's #1 vote. About housing in particular, there have been several housing forums. I think that they are a valuable asset or a resource to pick people's brains for what they think about the future of Cambridge. But you more or less have 2 different visions and then my own. You have ABC, you have CCC, and then you have essentially the outer bubble candidates. I think Thea is ahead of me. We are in a similar boat, although I wasn't able to listen in on what she had to say. Basically, all of us here in Cambridge agree and believe that affordable housing is a good thing. We are a wealthy city. We can provide for those who are housing insecure or homeless. We don't. At the moment, if you look at the CHA properties, if you look at how many people are applying for essentially the lottery system, the number is over 10,000. It's crazy. A city of not even 120,000, a city of true wealth, and yet 15% live below the poverty line. The 2 competing visions, and they have a large say within city council and governance, is basically how best to broker our government to private developers, how best to sell our land, how best for allowing other people to develop it. That's not my vision. I don't think that's correct. I think we should provide for people, but we should do it under the auspicious, I would say, within Cambridge. What that means is we need to deep dive into the zoning code. It's something that hasn't been explored for more than 60 years, I believe 61 to be accurate. And we need to enable ourselves to be able to build and develop more Cambridge-owned properties. This is proverbial social housing. Some people, tree activists, if you will, have argued against expansion at all costs. I say we can do both. Specifically, we have some public land that is not being developed, and this is land that really isn't being utilized by most of our Canterburyans. This is the Fresh Pond Golf Course. So we have about 150 acres, more thereabout, beautiful land that is at any given time used by fewer than about 3% of our residents. That's asinine to me. That's crazy. So what I believe is we should change how we divide up our land, change how we use it, build housing there, as well as enable and build more parks there. That way it's kind of the 2 birds, 1 stone. Again, this is very much against the wishes of the developers who are profiting from our city, but it is the best interest of our people. And that's why I'm running my campaign.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can, and the technical sounds seem to be okay. I hope that was your question, John, and thanks for having me.
Listen, no, Laura did a good job of filling in. So you see it as your sites are on open land more than unpacking more people into a neighborhood that's already had many waves of dense development.
Well, I mean, I think we can do both. I support expanding our zoning. Again, looking at our zoning code, I think density is a good thing. We are the 5th densest city in America, roughly. Somerville, I believe, is 4th. I think they're right ahead of us. And I look at it as a good thing. I know mid-Cambridge, I'm wondering exactly what neighborhoods that envelops. I live right in Central Square. I love it. I choose to live in a city. I imagine everyone here who cares and loves the city like I do probably shares my feeling. I don't believe that we should be enacting skyscrapers on every block. That's absurd. But there is some, I don't know, massaging is perhaps the right word, where we can up, especially if you even look across City Hall, there's a 7-Eleven that's one story. It's kind of ridiculous. So I do think that on more heavily trafficked hubs, we should be building up. However, and I understand completely neighbors' complaints or some residents, that voice is very valuable to me and will be heard. We should really be looking at open space first, especially open space that is not used, of which we, surprisingly, for a city that is small in landmass, we still have unused land. This speaks as well, John and everyone here, the whole notion that I've heard many counselors keep saying they want to think pragmatically or, you know, creatively about solutions. I think we've thought of them. It's time that we actually do this. I believe I'm the candidate and will be the city councilor that will actually put this forward and actually make progress moving forward.
What are your views about the controversy about bicycle lanes, the plans for bicycle lanes? Do you think that they're well thought through, or ready to go? Are they fully baked, or are they?
So, all right. So what we have here is we have along the campaign trail, if you will. I think that many candidates are faced by several false dichotomies. Housing versus trees is a big one. I believe we can do both. I've put into writing how we can do both. Same deal to an extent with bikes versus cars. I have taken the Cambridge Biking Safety Pledge. I'm also a biker. I'm a walker first, though. And one thing that I've spoken about at every opportunity in every forum, and I'm going to do so again, is the need to invest in our infrastructure. This means municipal broadband, but it also means public buses. It also means bike lanes. I don't believe that biking and cars need to necessarily compete. What that means, and again, I've heard residents on both sides. First off, I don't want to be political in the sense of hiding my intentions. I do believe in bikes. I think that we should invest in bike lanes. I think that is the way of the future. However, there are ways to do this that are intelligent, while not, again, I drive places as well, while not harassing many, especially older, disabled, those who can't bike or our lanes are not good enough to walk on. So to answer the question, I'm on the side of the bikers if it comes down to that. I don't believe that it's an either or. I would invest heavily into infrastructure. That means both. Sorry.
Yeah, we're about out of time. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your views, Robert. It's been nice getting to know you, and we have to move on to the next speaker. We're on a tight time schedule.
I totally understand. 2 quick notes. The first, again, reminder that November 2nd, there's also 3 ballot measures up.
Thank you, Robert. We'll remind the voters.
Okay, and my website is robertecktut.com.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate is Tanya Hicks, another